What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Live Beyond Average podcast. I am your host, Jordan Miller. I am really excited to be on today. Have been working on a lot of things already this new year, and part of that is just establishing more vision for myself, more vision for my businesses, my companies, and more vision for my life as well. And so it's been a fun already 6 days, as it's January 6th right now. And I'm pumped to be working on some new things as well, getting more of you involved. If you listened to my last podcast and have been following on social the last day or two, um, you've seen a little bit of this already. You've been preluded to a little bit of this, but it got me really thinking. And as I'm working on those things, it gets me thinking a little bit deeper into my journey has been like, what I have gone through, and some of my expectations throughout the years, and how you start to learn what to expect. And so I know a lot of you, as you're going into 2021 with a higher expectation for yourself, and you're really going to be working differently this year to accomplish things that you want to accomplish, to accomplish those dreams, to accomplish those ambitions. And I want to help with some of those expectations and what you can expect as you move forward this year. When you're moving forward and things are going to be, especially if you're a high achiever and you're a high goal oriented person, when you're working towards your goals and you're moving towards them and you're progressing towards them, you're often going to find out that there's going to be less people around you. And that's okay. But you're also going to find out that those people around you have to change, and your circle has to change, and the people that you're presenting yourself around have to change. And why is that? Because you have to level up. Because if you're around, I mean, you've heard the old saying, right? Like the saying of the five people you surround yourself with is what you're going to be like. Like if you're trying to make money and the five people around you make money, you're going to make money. If the five people around you go to the bar and drink, you're going to be the sixth person to go to the bar and drink. And that definitely holds weight. That definitely is true. Um, and so that being said, if you're wanting this year to be different, and you're wanting to grow this year your business, or you're wanting to better your marriage, or you're wanting to be a better dad or mom or whatever that is, you can't go about things the same way you went about them in 2020. You can't go about them the same way you went about them in 2019. You can't be around the same people. I'm not saying you have to go dump all your friends. What I'm saying is that in order to level up, you have to seek out people that you may look up to, you may view from afar on social, you might enjoy the way some people speak and you want to sound like them and you want to act like them, but you will have to step out of your box and your comfort zone and level up your circle. So if you're the top dog, if you're the man in your circle, what are you still doing there? It doesn't mean you still can't lead those people within that circle, but in order for you to grow, because we're talking about you in 2019, or in order for myself to grow in 2021, I was only off 2 years there. It's not bad. So in order for you to grow, you can't be the main top dog in your circle all the time. You're going to have to step out of that comfort zone. You're going to have to get uncomfortable with some of those decisions in order for yourself to really level up. Because you guys, your journey is going to be a war of attrition, right? If I'm saying, you might have less people around at first, that's okay. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. But in the midst of that hardship, in the midst of that, when you're really pushing to accomplish those goals, ambitions, and dreams, it really is a war of attrition. Think of it like this, you guys. The NCAA tournament, there's a 64 game playing field. 68 if we want to be generous, if we want to count the 4 playing games, but 64 teams. right? All have the same goal. They're all trying to get somewhere, but only two make it to the championship game, right? The green, like, look at like Delta Force. Look at the Green Berets, right? I think the Green Berets have something. I was just Googling it before I started, and around 3,500 people get invited or enter the training per year, and it varies from year to year, but around 860 graduate and make it. It's a war of attrition. Not everybody there is like-minded. Everybody there is trying to accomplish the same goal, but not every single person, not every single team actually shows up. We are responsible for ourselves to show up, to put in the work that needs to be done every single day. And part of that is leveling up, like we just talked about, right? And there's a big factor in this. And what is that big factor? That sometimes who we're around is actually more important than what we do. I mean, I've learned this over the years. I've really learned it. This year was a really hard one for me because I look back and I realized that I had all these occasions that this statement meant something. I didn't know it until recently. But I look back and I thought about when I was a basketball player and I had really big dreams and goals, ambitions in basketball that were much bigger than me, probably bigger than what I could actually accomplish. But I worked with coaches and strength coaches, and I worked with one of the best shooting coaches in the entire country. And their work with me, they had no doubt that I could achieve what I wanted to achieve. They were speaking life and dream into me, and I had the belief that I would do it. I had no doubt that I could get there. It was going to be hard. It was going to be a long journey. And then when I entered the college recruiting process, I went and played for a team out in Wisconsin, and the coach there, I brought up the fact that about my bigger goals, my ambitions, and my dreams, and that I wanted to play professionally, whether that be overseas, but I wanted to continue my career after college. And he spoke that was attainable, that we could do that he would help me with that goal. I went to another college visit here in South Dakota, and I had that same conversation with the coach, but his response was, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that right now. Worry about playing right now here. And why I chose to play for him was because I got a bigger scholarship. The money enticed me to go that direction, right? But all I look back was that coach was speaking death over my life, over my dreams, over what I was trying to accomplish, over all the work I was putting in for years, right? Where every other coach beforehand was speaking life into what I wanted to accomplish, right? And so it goes back to that sometimes it's more important who we put ourselves around than what we do. I was already doing everything I needed to do to get there. But what changed in my confidence, what changed in my beliefs, and why I didn't, part of that, maybe why I didn't accomplish that was because the people I was around were speaking death into my beliefs in my life, right? It's an interesting example. In order to achieve those big dreams that you have, that you're going to be working on this year, your alignment is going to have to be right. And it's going to have to be right for the time you're in. And so that alignment's going to change over time. The people that you're going to be surrounding yourself with, the people that you need at certain times are going to change as well, because we talk about that leveling up. When you're getting better, you're going to have to level up again. You're going to have to find new people, new coaches, new individuals to mentor you, to help you through that journey. It's no different than when I started Run to Gun back in 2011, who I was working with and who were my friends, or whoever it was, is different than it is now. The mentors that helped me got me started, I'm very thankful for, but I don't need now. And it's not anything against anybody. It's just the need for the time and the season of what you're going to need is going to have to change, and that alignment's going to have to change. So don't get stuck with where you're at as you're traveling through this. Remember, we're just going over some things to expect throughout your journey. It's I just encourage you not to go through this journey alone. I've speaking from experience. I always just for some reason thought I never needed mentors. I never needed to look up to anybody. I never needed business advice. And why? Because I always hired the best coaches when I was a basketball player. I hired the best strength coaches. I hired the best shooting coaches. What sense did it make that when I went into the business world and the life outside of school that I didn't want to do the same? And I learned that I could travel really fast. I learned I can accomplish a lot. I could learn that I can always rely on myself and have that discipline. But at some point, I don't need more discipline, right? I have that on lockdown. You know, what I need is, what I learned is, I need fellowship, right? If I want to accomplish more, if I want to go far, I'm going to need that fellowship, right? And we can do that together. I mean, even God said in Matthew 18:22 that where there are two or more are gathered, that he is in the midst of them. That when we're together, that right, we are more powerful, that our prayer is more powerful, that we're together, right? And we have a support system. We have people to hold us accountable, right? When we're focused and we have aligned vision, we're that much more capable and probable to succeed. And we're meant to have fellowship and grow together. We're meant to be together. Humans are not meant to be alone, isolated, locked down, right? I mean, a great example of the togetherness is the Belgian workhorses, right? So you go and watch the Belgian workhorses at an event, and there's a big difference between trained Belgian workhorses and untrained. So the trained Belgian workhorses can literally pull 8,000 pounds by themselves. They're muscular, they're huge. It's amazing. So you take a trained Belgian workhorse and you can do that. Take a second train. Now let's say they align and they come together, two great Belgian workhorses, and you put them together and you're like, okay, they can each pull 8,000 pounds. So they're going to be able to pull 16,000 pounds, right? But no, they're actually, it like quadruples. They are able to pull like 32,000 pounds when they're aligned correctly. It's just an awesome analogy. Now you compare that to an untrained, where it's 6,000 pounds for an untrained horse individually and around 16,000 pounds from together. Literally half of what the two trained ones pull together. Half. Well, what's the difference? It goes literally to our training, right? To the training of them. So how are we training every day? How is our mindset? How is our vision going into this year? What are we doing to do things differently this year than last? You guys, because 2020 is literally hindsight now. It's literal. But we have to do things differently. We can't go about taking the same actions and expecting different results this year. It's got to be totally different. And that starts with our training. And you know how much I believe in our physical training and how that leads to momentum in other areas of our life. And so for you, maybe it does start with your physical training and it continues to carry over. Maybe that is the difference this year to build momentum into all these other areas of your life that you're trying to improve on this journey. So wrapping this up, that doesn't mean that this war of attrition is a bad thing, right? It doesn't mean that as we go and those numbers get smaller and the amount of people, maybe the amount of friends you have get smaller as you go. What matters, remember, is who we're around is more important than sometimes what we do. That we need the quality of those people to enrich our lives and to help propel us and for us to level up. I mean, God says, do not conform to this world, right? And that literally means that there's going to be less people on the journey. Like I know he says, and I'm not sure where, but he says in the Bible that the journey to heaven is going to be like going through the eye of the needle, right? Versus going through the huge archway, right? And the path that's more traveled. That there's going to be less people there than the opposite. And you know, where are we choosing? What path are we choosing? And the path to what you're trying to achieve in whatever success, that's why there's less people there. There's less people who accomplish what they want to accomplish. And talk about it and have regret when they're old. There's way more of them than there is people who achieve what they want to achieve. And so just remember that what you're going to be accomplishing this year and in your life may have a direct correlation to who you're putting yourself around now and how you're leveling up in every single season of your life. It's going to have a direct correlation, you guys. I'm really pumped about this year and about growing, having higher expectation for myself as well, preparing more of these podcasts, these in-depth podcasts as we go. We're still going to do a lot of off-the-cuff podcasts that are fun, that are just casually talking about mule deer hunting or our hunts or working out or whatever. But some of them are going to be. I'm looking to grow as well. I'm looking to grow myself and challenge myself, and this is one area that sitting down, gathering thoughts, slowing down my talk, and really putting out a message that has a tactic behind it, that has something tangible behind it that you can take and you can apply and make a difference in your life as you're going, and it's going to actually help you towards your goal, help you beyond just the entertainment value that we do with our TV show or some other podcast, some actual tactic and practical things that you can take with you. So I'm really pumped about 2021, you guys. It's kind of difficult to remember it's 2021. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope that you'll share it, take a screenshot of this podcast, share it with a friend. Remember, we talked about how we're going to build this community in 2021 and how involving you in this is going to matter. I want your feedback. I want your input. I want your comments. That way we can grow it. We can take little excerpts of this that you're like, hey, this stuck out to me. I want to hear more on this, or I want to be a part of this. I have a great commentary on this. I have a great input on this. I want that from you. I want you to be a part of the show. I want you to be part of the platform, because we can make an impact on so many more by doing that, not just filling up our own cups, but overflowing our own and letting them spill and fill up others as well. So you guys, happy Wednesday, middle of the week. If you're listening live today when this drops, I hope you guys enjoy and crush the rest of your week. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.